Man, this episode was just one shocking moment after another one. I mean, first, Mr. O's dead body being dropped from a higher level of the roof and having Vincenzo being accused of the murder of Mr. O. Man, Inzaghi's MVP moment. I will talk about that. That was just amazing. And of course, Mr. Jung. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is he the first to be on Cha Yeong's and Vincenzo's side, betrayed them because he wanted leverage? Because there were people who were on Vincenzo's side, but they decided to switch sides or not be on their side because they were being threatened. If it wasn't their lives, it was the people that they know and love. So I think Mr. Jung could be the first one. And what's crazy is that he said it himself in a previous episode where he was a going by the book type of fighter. And just seeing him betray the good guys, I don't know what to believe anymore. So at the beginning of the episode, we're at the roof, Vincenzo against Paolo's men. Paolo's men had the upper hand and it looks like that they were going to kill Vincenzo. So Vincenzo at that moment, he kind of knew that he was going to die. So he said to the men, hey, I want you to relay this message to Paolo. I don't respect you even after I die. And as the guy was trying to pull the trigger, we hear some cooing. Behind the men was Inzaghi. And I'm thinking, wait, what's Inzaghi going to do? Because I remember I said this in a previous review. I thought Cha Yeong was going to be there, but Inzaghi was. So after the cooing, I'm thinking, wait, what's Inzaghi going to do? But then behind Inzaghi was just a flock of his pigeon friends. And all of his pigeon friends attacked the men, which gave Vincenzo an opening to attack the men, grab their gun, shoot him down. And that moment alone was just such an MVP moment for Inzaghi. Man, I really want Inzaghi to live with Vincenzo. I want Vincenzo to buy a birdcage so Inzaghi can live in it if he wants to. But if Inzaghi wants to be a free-flying bird, hey, no complaints here. But that was just amazing. And Vincenzo, he was shocked. Shoot, I was shocked. He was thankful. And then Inzaghi flew away. We see him fly away, music being played, the moonlight in the background. Perfect. Now the next scene I want to talk about is when Junwoo got arrested. So when he got arrested, they got hard evidence. There was no way for Junwoo to fight back, or Myeong Hee. But then when the tenants got together and watched the announcement of Junwoo being arrested, being reported on TV, but instead it was Mr. Jung apologizing, pretty much switching sides. And I'm thinking, oh wait, Junwoo must have threatened him in some way because he does have a family. But then we see a scene between him and Junwoo. Mr. Jung was already corrupted to begin with. Because what Mr. Jung said to Junwoo was, so I have hard evidence. There's no way you can fight back. But what if all of this went away? And at first Junwoo thought it was a joke, but no, it's for real. So that was the first question. The second question Mr. Jung asked was, so how high can I go? And he's talking about position. He wants a higher position. That's why he teamed up with Vincenzo so Vincenzo can get hard evidence against Junwoo so he can use that as leverage to have Junwoo get him a higher position. A higher position, more money. That was pretty much what he wanted. Then fast forward, yeah, everyone is upset. Everyone is heartbroken that Mr. Jung betrayed them. So for Vincenzo, his plan was not to get him back, quickly. That would be too easy. So what Vincenzo did was head to his home. He did tie up the guards that Mr. Jung wanted in front of his house to protect him and his family. And that made Mr. Jung have the assumption that his family is in danger. But instead, Vincenzo pretty much had dinner, was going to have dinner with his wife and his daughter, and they were waiting for Mr. Jung. And they have their dinner. We're outside. Vincenzo has a one-on-one with Mr. Jung, and Mr. Jung just begged to not have Vincenzo kill him. I'm thinking, dude, after what you did, you think begging is going to help you now? Come on. After all of that, Vincenzo and the tenants risked their lives to get the evidence, to give it to you, to arrest Junwoo, and you pull that stunt? There is no way you're gonna walk away free. You know what I mean? But for Vincenzo, he was pretty much thinking, you know what? I'm not gonna kill you now. That's too easy. So I'm gonna wait until you get everything that you want, and then I'm gonna kill you. Now that was one hell of a intimidation. Next scene. At the office, Cha Yeong, Ju-sung, and Vincenzo were just talking. Cha Yeong asked Vincenzo, hey, what's in that box you got? Oh, it's the file. The guillotine file. What? I thought it was inside the safe. But little did we know, during that time where Yeong Oon and Vincenzo were talking and Vincenzo was questioning Yeong Oon, why is he doing this whole thing in the first place? As he was talking to him, he actually opened the gold, took the file, and put it in his pocket and acted like the file was already in the safe. Well, accidentally thrown in the safe. So he had it all along, which made everyone happy. Without hesitation, they opened the file. They saw a lot of dirt on a lot of companies, but as of right now, their two main targets, and pretty much the majority of this episode, is going to be the evil company Babil, obviously, and Daechang Daily, which is a corrupted newspaper company, which also has ties with Babil. So that's going to be their main targets. So Vin's plan is to put both sides against each other and destroy each other, and that's what he did. And as they were looking at the file, Hansol comes into their office, first gifts them a coffee made from kivit, I don't know how to pronounce that word, but pretty much coffee made from poop. And that whole scene alone was just hilarious. Vincenzo quizzing him about running a company, having Ju-sung said, oh, this is a load of crap after Hansol gifts them a poop or coffee made from poop. That was just hilarious. So yeah, the quiz, well, before the quiz, Hansol, he wanted to run the company properly. That's why he came back and asked Vincenzo for help to get rid of Junwoo. And for Vincenzo and Cha Yeong, they were getting the assumption that Hansol wants to betray Junwoo and kill him. But for Hansol, he's trying to convince them that this is not a form of betrayal. This is a form of getting rid of my brother so I can run the company properly because I love the company. And he has been reading books about running a company, so he knows what he knows. So Vincenzo decides to quiz him and gave him 3 questions, which he fails. And then Vincenzo stands up and said, get out, come back when you study. And if you want to work with us, you have to be smart. So for right now, get out. Yo, like, I feel bad for Hansol, but that scene was just so hilarious. So sticking with Vincenzo's plan, they go after Mr. O, who is pretty much the president of Daechang Daily. And what they did first was go after his shaman, because he goes to a shaman a lot. They go after him. Now, I don't know what they did to him, but it was to the point where the shaman said that the mountain deities are not with him anymore. I don't know what they did, but it was to that point. I don't even want to know. So the plan was to get rid of his previous shaman, so anyone of the tenants would become his new shaman. And they all voted for Vincenzo to become the new shaman. And that scene alone was just so hilarious. I think for some reason that I saw Ju-sung with no eyebrows, but it was just like white powder on his face. I thought he had no eyebrows. So they pretty much tried to intimidate him, scare him, act like the ghost of his brother, which Mr. O pushed off the cliff. So they were trying to scare him, and they did. And for that, they were trying to have Daechang Daily and Babil not work together anymore, which succeeded. Their plan succeeded until the death of Mr. O at the end of this episode. And towards the end, yeah. Well, first off, Vincenzo was at the plaza. He saw a random guy come out of the office, and he starts chasing after him. He's on the roof, and then Vincenzo kind of walks forward towards the camera, and then we see a body fall from the higher level of the roof, and it's Mr. O. And then we see cops coming out of nowhere, I don't know how, and accused Vincenzo of the murder of Mr. O. I mean, this is not the first time that Vincenzo has been in this position, but now things are getting even more heavy because now that Myeong Hee and Junwoo are fighting back, probably at the same level now. Because usually it was always Vincenzo pulling the strings, hitting back, hitting back, hitting back, and when Junwoo and Myeong Hee were trying to hit back, Vincenzo hit harder. So I think at this time, Myeong Hee and Junwoo are gonna hit twice if not triple as hard. But Mr. O isn't the only target for Myeong Hee and Junwoo, because before all of that happened, Myeong Hee and Junwoo was trying to figure out, okay, how can we attack Vincenzo? And at the bar, Myeong Hee insists that she looked into Vincenzo's family, and when she said that, I'm thinking, oh man, his mom. And I was right. So after looking into his family, Myeong Hee got some information on his mom, and that related to the case with his mom being the maid, and she was accused of murdering of whoever was murdered. That was like many episodes ago. So that case came back, and that kind of made the connection of everything made sense to Junwoo. And then now, yeah, just like I said, Junwoo and Myeong Hee are gonna hit twice as hard because now that at first Vincenzo was doing all of the punches, and when Myeong Hee and Junwoo was trying to punch back, Vincenzo came in twice as hard. So at this point, I think Junwoo and Myeong Hee are going to have the upper hand. Oh yeah, there's one more thing I forgot to talk about. It's the meeting between Mr. Jung and Yeong Oon. Those two have had meetings before at like a restaurant, and I thought that these two were kind of in on something. But really, it was Yeong Oon meeting up with him because he was suspicious about Mr. Jung betraying, and his suspicions were right. That's why he met up with him. And I kind of thought that these two were kind of in on something, like getting the gold together or something. But Yeong Oon, he was pretty much still on Vincenzo's side, and that's why he was meeting up with Mr. Jung. Another scene I cannot forget is the letter that Vincenzo's mom gave Cha Yeong to read once she got home. She opened the letter, Cha Yeong read it, and she cried. Now, we don't know what's written in the letter as of right now, but my assumption is Vincenzo's mom knows that Vincenzo is her son. That's my assumption. So yeah, that was the gist of the episode. If there's anything I might have missed, please leave it in the comments below. I want to know your guys' reactions and thoughts to some of the shocking moments in this episode, especially the Inzaghi moment. I want to know your guys' thoughts on that one, because for me, that was just amazing and awesome. It makes me want to have a pet pigeon, because Inzaghi is looking really adorable right now. For those who don't know, next Saturday for episode 17, they're going to go on a 1-week hiatus. And well, as of right now, I do know that Saturday they're not going to show episode 17. I don't know about Sunday, but if they're not showing Sunday, then yeah, it's a 1-week hiatus and we won't see episode 17 until 2 weeks from now. So that's just a little bit of information for those who don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much my review. If you guys like it, leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe. See ya.